Well, this is sort of everyone's favorite question. Is what have they done to you? We want to hear all the, I think it's sort of like rubbernecking on the highway. We want to see, the mangled body.
You look good to me.
Thank
okay,
you.
You survived it well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I have to say, it's an important question. It's also my least favorite, and I'll tell you why. I don't want to ever give the impression that they can stop me. I don't want anyone to get the incorrect idea that they can shut me out. So I don't like to dwell. I don't even really like to think about the things that they have tried. But I think it's an important subject, and it's important to note because when Target took my book off, it removed it, then it put it back on in response to outcry, then it quietly deleted it again. It was completely deleted from Target.com, never available again. It's important because people need to know that the activists are willing to stop what adults are able to read. They want to censor what adults are able to read. This is Target.com. Okay? Now, what goes on now, unfortunately, we're sort of living in a fairly obtuse time, and sometimes they lump that together with, parents objecting to various pornography in schools. Those are entirely different. They're obviously different. Okay? There's a well-known book that was in all kinds of libraries. It's still in all kinds of libraries in America and school libraries, and that's the book Genderqueer, which is a graphic novel that shows young boys filleting each other. When they talk about conservatives censoring books, they're talking about, not conservatives, talking about parents objecting to that. Parents, not conservatives. See, one of the things that the gender ideologues have been really successful in is they've convinced America, or maybe the world, that anyone who objects to these things is a right-winger, and that their actual target is right-wingers. Their target was never right-wingers. It was always the family. It was always children. It was always women. If you look at what they've done, all the measures to secretly change a child's name and gender behind their parents' back, the efforts to take a parent's custody away if she doesn't affirm, the efforts to put biological men in women's sports, the efforts to put biological men in women's prisons. Those aren't right-wingers who object to that. Martina Navratilova is not a right-winger. J.K. Rowling is not a right-winger. It's women and children and families they're after, the activists. And the target...
You're not technically a right-winger, right? Am I right about that? Jim Bacon said you're a classic liberal in a sense, or I don't know what, I don't mean to get off on that, but my point is you're not a right-winger. Anyway, so am I wrong, or?
Well, I would
say
that.
Is that a loaded question?
Well, when I do these investigations, I do try to keep politics out of them.
You go on truth and not truth.
I do.
Okay.
I do. I try to keep politics out of them because it's not helpful.
Okay, so you can continue.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. But they tried to...
I admire that totally, by the way.
Oh,
we could talk about that also, but go ahead.
The target was never right-wingers. It was always women and families. Okay, that's why they actually were never. None of their measures have attacked right-wingers, a fairly marginalized group, and not particularly effective in the culture wars. So, but they then smear anyone who challenges them as a right-winger. Unfortunately, this cowed a lot of good people for a long time, and it needs to stop. So that we stop losing really, really important things in this country.